Are they serious? Welcome back, everyone. I am introducing a new series on this channel. I do follow a lot of different topics of conversations, and I wanted to incorporate that on this channel as well. So you will basically get a variety of different conversations that are being had, different topics, and we're just going to talk about it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this topic. So we're going to be talking about the movie Sound of Freedom. So before I jump all the way in, to those of you who have not seen the movie, I do want to go ahead and play this trailer for you.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
It is the fastest growing international crime network that the world has ever seen. It has already passed the illegal arms trade, and soon it's gonna pass the drug trade. Because you can sell a bag of cocaine one time with a child 5 to 10 times a day. God's children are not for sale.
How long you been doing this?
12 years now.
How many pedophiles you got?
288.
How many kids you found?
Timoteo, tú rescatas niños, ¿verdad? ¿Puedes ayudarme a encontrar a mi hermana?
Te lo prometo.
For Homeland Security, you know we can't go off rescuing Honduran kids in Colombia.
Which means she'll disappear for good. Imagine walking into her room right now, seeing an empty bed. What we do?
You quit your job and you go and rescue those kids.
So at this moment, she could be a block down the road, or she could be in Moscow, Bangkok, LA. She's a major operator.
It's all rebel territory. No one goes in. Not the army, not the police, not us.
What if this was your daughter?
There's no Marine unit coming.
You're on your own. This job tears you to pieces. And this is my one chance to put those pieces back together.
When God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate.
Whew. So first off, I did go see this movie on Wednesday. Today is Sunday. My reactions was one of, first off, there were some scenes that were hard for me to watch. Not that they showed anything vulgar or explicit in the scenes. It was just, you had an understanding of what was being portrayed, and it was hard for me to watch. All throughout the movie, I was praying for God to cause this light that is being exposed, that is being shined upon this very detrimental situation, that I was praying for God to cause it to illuminate across the whole world, to where there will no longer be any dark crevices on this planet, to where these types of activities can continue. I was even going so far as to pray for God to shake the very foundations of these hidden places that these predators are luring these children to. The different things that are going on around the world, where children are being smuggled, children are being trafficked in every country upon this world. It's so It was just so hard. It's not that I didn't know these things were happening. It's just when you have a visual and you have something that is being portrayed in front of you, where you know subconsciously and consciously that this is based on real, true events, it just has a way of causing you to have your eyes open so much more, and you feel it so much more deeper. And I think they did, let me say too, they did a very good job in making this movie. And it doesn't surprise me that they had so many oppositions in getting this movie out. This movie was made 5 years ago, and they went through so many oppositions to get this movie released. And we know it's because the enemy did not want a light to be shined upon this situation, and he did not want this to be exposed in the manner in which it was. There have been many celebrities that have passed away within the course of 5 years, and later we would find that these same individuals were in the processes of either speaking out against sex trafficking or making a documentary regarding sex trafficking. I don't find that to be a coincidence. And it's very disturbing how profitable this perverse organization has been. I believe in the movie they said this operation is $150 billion industry yearly. This is what they gross yearly. And the United States is one of the main buyers when it comes to sex trafficking. They are the most prominent in participating in this activity. And it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. And you guys that have followed this channel, you know I have shared dreams over the years of me being on this channel, where God has given me multiple dreams, not only of him showing me that they were going to try to legalize pedophilia, but he also have been showing me dreams of sex trafficking going on. And I now believe even more so the fact that God even recently was showing me these things regarding what is going on with children and how they are being sold into sex slavery. I believe God was showing me what was to come as a result of how he was going to bring exposure to this situation. We all know children are so precious to God. They are so innocent. They are the closest to perfection. They are the closest to purity. If you are looking at humanity and just the righteousness of God, children are the closest to emulating that righteousness and that purity. So I wanted to play this clip for you all. You may have seen it. It was a segment on CNN. I have not been able to find the full video, but I do want to play this snippet because when I saw it, it really disturbed me.
And you seem pretty familiar with him because he doesn't really hide his association with this real wild plot that involves, drinking the blood of children and things like that.
No, he doesn't hide it at all. And you have a lot of people who are in this world of QAnon who say, oh, they don't know what that is. They've never heard of it. They're just asking questions. With somebody like Jim Caviezel, he is openly embracing it. He's openly using its catchphrases and its concepts. He's speaking at QAnon conventions. And this film is being marketed to either specific QAnon believers or to people who believe all of the same tenets as QAnon, but claim they don't know what it is.
So to those of you who are not familiar with QAnon, QAnon was a group that was established, I believe, back in 2017. And this group were a collective of people who believed that there were a lot of different satanic things that were going on in Hollywood. And they also believed that a lot of these celebrities, actors, and actresses were participating in sex trafficking and were participating in sex cults that were going on with children. And also, they made mention of some of these celebrities also participating in the drinking of blood of children. Now, I do want to say real quickly that the fact that the man who's speaking is a Rothschild, that speaks volumes. But I really was very turned off by the narrative that was trying to be pushed, in the sense of trying to make it seem like this movie was created to kind of continue this narrative as it pertained to this QAnon movement. Now, when QAnon was introduced to me, it wasn't really something that I jumped on the bandwagon on. There were certain things that were being said that I could pretty much determine quickly that it was very possible to be true. But I know that there was a lot of different conversations that were being had within the group that I didn't necessarily believe in, and I didn't prescribe to the same ideology as them. But I will say some of the things that they did speak out on, I do believe is true. But what I don't like is the narrative that's being pushed.
And The Sound of Freedom does focus on a real issue of sex trafficking. But that theme, it's sort of like that kernel of truth that feeds the QAnon conspiracy theory. Tell us how those two things work together.
My thing is, how can it be true, but at the same time, it's feeding into this QAnon narrative?
Sure. And the most durable and the most believable conspiracy theories are not entirely false. There's something in them that is true and the rest of it is false. But the believers point to the one true thing and they say, oh, you don't believe that this particular thing is true. In terms of child trafficking, we know trafficking is real. We know it has real victims. No one is denying that. But these films are created out of moral panics. They're created out of bogus statistics. They're created out of fear. And with something like Sound of Freedom, it specifically is looking at QAnon concepts of these child trafficking rings that are run by the high-level elites, and only people like Tim Ballard and only people like Jim Caviezel, and by extension, only people like the ticket buyer can help bring these trafficking rings down. So there's a very participatory element. You're not just going to see a movie, you're just killing 2 hours on a hot day. You are helping bring down these pedophile rings and save children. Now, it's not true, but it's a very comforting and it's a very warm feeling to have.
See, that was disturbing, because on one hand, you're acknowledging that sex trafficking is true, but on the flip side, you're trying to make it seem like anybody who believes in what Sound of Freedom is saying or conveying in this movie, it's like you're extreme in how you're viewing the topic of child sex trafficking, because it's like you're saying in one breath, oh, well, everyone knows that child sex trafficking exists. We know it happens. But if you are ascribing to what this movie Sound of Freedom is conveying to the world, then you are more on the extreme side, and now you're promoting fear. Now, this was just disturbing to me, because I couldn't shake the fact that this was a woman on here, like literally nodding in agreement to what this man is saying, the nonsense that's coming out of his mouth, to try to make it seem as if you're not making a difference in what is happening with children around the world by going to be informed, by seeing this movie, by, showing your support in what this movie is trying to do in reaching the masses around the world, in educating people, in shining a light on what is happening and exposing the enemy from the top down. And, for him to try to just quickly gloss over it as if, you're not doing anything by going to watch this movie, that you're not making a difference by watching this movie, it's very disturbing, and it's very heartless, and it's very incompassionate. And so, yeah, I was very much so bothered by that. But this is not the first time CNN has gone after this man who played the character in Sound of Freedom. I can't never pronounce his last name, but his first name is Jim. But this is the same man who played the character of Jesus in Passion of the Christ. I want y'all to check this video out, where CNN again tied him to the QAnon movement 2 years ago.
QAnon conspiracy theorists have a new backer, a man who once played Jesus. Actor Jim Caviezel pushing QAnon theories that can only be described as flat out crazy. Donnie O'Sullivan is joining us now. What is he saying, Donnie?
Hey, Brianna, yeah, crazy certainly is the word for it. And what we've seen here really is that even with Trump out of the White House, conspiracy theories are continuing to grip the United States. Have a listen.
The adrenochroming of children, look, where we're at right now, hopefully we need your prayers.
He may have played the role of Jesus Christ in Mel Gibson's 2004 movie The Passion of the Christ, but now it seems actor Jim Caviezel is preaching a different kind of gospel, echoing the gospel of QAnon while speaking to a right-wing convention over the weekend.
You said adrenochrome.
Essentially, you have adrenaline in your body. I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline.
Followers of QAnon are obsessed with the idea, without having any evidence, that Hollywood celebrities and other famous people torture children to extract adrenochrome, some believe to use in satanic rituals.
So as you can see, they really have been trying to attack this man's character. They have been trying to deem him as being crazy. As you can see, they love to play on biblical words, and they wanted to make sure they highlighted the fact that they deem him as being a false prophet, and they want you to look at him as a false prophet. And, the thing is with the media, we have to also keep in mind who is behind media, and it is Satan, okay? This is Satan's world. He is the God of this world, and anyone who is subscribing to this agenda that is literally filtered down from Satan himself, they are not going to tell you the truth, okay? They want you to believe that the things that are being exposed are lies and deceptions, and they are conspiracy theories. But the reality is, a lot of us are waking up to the truth. A lot of us are being awakened to the evils that are really going on around this world. And the enemy does not want the evil that he has been doing behind closed doors, in the dark. He does not want it exposed. But the word of God tells us that what is done in the dark will be made known in the light. And you guys, I want you guys to understand, there's a reason why these things are being exposed this year. Again, this video was made 5 years ago, and God chose for that movie to be released this year in 2023. According to the word that God gave for this year, this is the year of restoration. And so I believe that God is allowing these things to be exposed because there are some things that God is doing behind the scenes. And I am really believing that we are going to see even more being exposed in a way where God is going to get the glory. And so I wanted to shine a light on this. If you have not seen Sound of Freedom, I highly, highly encourage you to go see it. I know it's going to be hard to watch for some. My husband, I knew he wasn't going to be able to watch it, and I understood that. But I did talk to him about the movie. He's very much aware of the information that was being conveyed in this movie. But I knew for myself I had to go watch it. And, I've been praying ever since. I am believing that God is going to continue to shine a light so bright across the world where this evil will have to be eradicated. If you enjoy these type of videos, please make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And what other topics of conversations would you like for me to have on here? And if there are any videos that you would like for me to respond to, you can always send those videos to my email address, which is kingdomjournals@yahoo.com. I'm going to leave you guys with this interview that Jim also did. And I love what he said in the movie. He said, God's children are not for sale. And that is the truth. So I want you guys to watch these final words from him. Take care.
The most vulnerable are under attack for one reason. Children are the most innocent of humans. Most innocent, okay? Just look at Adolf Hitler and Goebbels. They ran a campaign to take out all special needs children. When you meet children that have 47 chromosomes, they can't sin. They're holy. They have an effect on you. They can change you, and wounds God to the deepest core to kill those unborn babies. But now they kill them when they're born, don't they? In New York, they kill them. In Virginia, they kill them. And here in California, they want to pass a law. 27 days, mind you, 27 days after that baby's born, they can kill it. And they've always said, well, just in case it's for the mother, right? So how does killing a baby 14 days outside the womb save the mother's life? Answer that question. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the baby, I saw this documentary called Silent Scream. Watch it. You get to see the baby screaming in the womb. The difference is you get to hear the baby scream when they're out of the womb. And that's what I saw. And that motivated me wanting to take these guys down. A lot of these guys had 2, 3, 4 abortions. What's the difference between that and Ted Bundy? They're both serial killers. It's either a human being or it's not. So that's where Jesus is going to have a deep conversation with all of us when we die. And I don't want to be a part of that. I want to tell him that I love him. That's what I want to say. And that I tried to live the life that it was supposed to be, that I give my life for him because he deserves to be loved. Does God love me? Does God love me? Yes, he loves you. Accept it. Now, do you love him? What would you do for him? At some point, we're all going to be alone there, you know?